How to do Etsy ads in 10 minutes. Sit down, relax. I'm going to take you through all new information on Etsy ads. None of this information has ever been released anywhere before, and I've certainly never released it on YouTube before. You're going to learn step by step how to use Etsy ads and not fall into the pitfalls and mistakes that all the other YouTube channels are telling you to do with Etsy ads. I'm going to hit you with a bombshell straight away, and then there's an even bigger bombshell at the end of this video. Let's work through the steps together and understand how to do Etsy ads in 10 minutes. Okay, so I said I was going to hit you with a bombshell straight away, and here it is. The whole of YouTube, when it comes to Etsy ads, all the people talking about Etsy ads on YouTube are telling you as a new store to use Etsy ads to prove that your items can sell. So they all say it, don't they? Use Etsy ads, get some sales to prove that you can sell the items you're creating, and then that gets you a quicker way to prove viability for your store. This is completely wrong. It does not work, and don't do it. The reason why it doesn't work is because Etsy, the Etsy ads algorithm, will show your products for partial keyword matches. Okay? Etsy wants to maximize its ad revenue. That's Etsy's goal. Maximize the ad revenue from you, the seller. So if you've got a funny man's llama t-shirt, as an example, funny man's llama t-shirt, Etsy's going to show your t-shirt for the words llama, man's funny man's t-shirt, llama funny. You see, Etsy will show your t-shirt for all these keywords. It doesn't prove business viability because these people aren't going to buy your item. They're not going to purchase your item off of these partial keyword matches. Etsy ads is a bit rubbish. It doesn't allow you to select and force keywords that you want it to use. So we, unfortunately, are at the mercy of Etsy ads and its loose discovery of your items. So everyone telling you to do this, it doesn't work. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Let's move on to who should be using Etsy ads. So here's another critical piece of information. If you are a new Etsy seller, you've just opened your store, my advice to you is don't use Etsy ads at this time. It's not going to help you, as I've mentioned. It's not going to prove viability for your business. What you need to do as a new seller is grow organically first. Grow sales organically inside Etsy to prove viability in a reliable way, which is people discovering your items in search and non-search areas of the site, purchasing them, and then you knowing that you've made sales. So new users on Etsy, don't use Etsy ads, wait. People who should use Etsy ads are sellers that have built their store to a decent size, 50 items, 100 items, 150 items, and have made sales, and quite a few of them. So once you've started to prove viability, then you can bring ads in because you already know that your items are selling. Etsy ads is just an assistant, an accomplice to making more sales. It's not the focal point of making more sales. And I'm going to talk about this more later, the correct spread of organic sales versus Etsy ad sales. So if you're building and growing and making sales, now is the time when you would use Etsy ads, and you as sellers are the group that should be using it. If you're successful, you've made thousands of sales, of course, you'll be using Etsy ads anyway, more than likely, and you should be using Etsy ads. Okay, let's move on to the next vital tip about Etsy ads. Remember, I've never released any of this information before, so it's first time for everyone here today. Okay, now the piece of information that you all need to know: how to set Etsy ads up and how to use it. This is very simple. People overcomplicate Etsy ads. It's very easy to do, but you need the information. So first thing, critical, make sure whatever your budget is on the daily for Etsy ads, so whatever your daily budget is, it gets whatever listings you're advertising through a complete day of advertising. This is critical. So if you've got $5 a day, you can't advertise a store of 100 items because the budget is going to be used in an hour or two. And it's going to be taken by your leading listings in ads, the ones that Etsy's getting response from. It's just going to keep pushing those listings. It's going to eat your budget. You've got to only advertise enough listings to allow the budget to go through a complete day. So if your budget is $5 a day, you wouldn't advertise a store of 100 listings. No, you would advertise 10 listings, 8, 12, 15. You're going to have to look yourself and work it out how much budget gets used. You can see that in the stats to know this. Make sure your budget gets through a complete day. Okay? It's important because then we don't know when people are going to buy your stuff. You don't know when your adverts are going to be in the purchasing phase of the day. So make sure the budget gets through a complete day. Now, if you've got enough budget, so this is the other side. So let's just say you might be saying, well, Nick, yeah, I've got as much budget as I need. What do I do then? If you've got enough budget, then you want to make sure that when you advertise your store, only advertise with just enough money to get you through the day for all your items. So if you've got 100 items in your store and you want to advertise them all, that's fine, but don't give Etsy headroom beyond roughly the daily budget you need. So let's say you had 100 items, that would probably be somewhere between $20 and $40 a day, and that is an average guesstimate based on all the data I've seen. $20 to $40 will get you through the day. Don't give Etsy more on that headroom, because this gives Etsy more budget to be loose with your listings, throwing them out for those partial keyword matches that are not going to convert. So just make sure your budget is tight to the full day exposure inside Etsy ads. This is absolutely critical. Let's move on to the next point. So the next piece of this Etsy ads puzzle is, well, how long do you leave listings in with Etsy ads? And the answer is really, really straightforward. If the item is not seasonal, so if you're advertising something for Christmas, you know that you should be beginning to advertise in September time for Christmas, but you know when Christmas is over, you're not going to advertise that item anymore. If it's an evergreen item all year round, you need to give the item 100 clicks to meet the return on advertising spend you want. So return on advertising spend, for those that don't know, is every dollar you put into Etsy ads needs to bring you a return on this investment. And it of course needs to be more than $1. And you have to work out your own costs, your production costs, your time, all the things that that factor into your business to work out what that ROAS is, that return on advertising spend. So broadly speaking, and this is just a broad guide, a good estimate to work at is $1 spent, $4 returned. That is extremely general. It's just a guide to give you an idea of what you should be heading for. You've got to work out these figures for yourself. No one else can do them. But it's 100 clicks to meet that return on advertising spend. If you haven't got it after 100 clicks, you're not going to get it if the item is not seasonal. Okay? 100 clicks is more than enough to prove and meet your return on advertising spend. If it hasn't hit it by then, switch the item off, bring another item in and advertise that as well. Dead simple. Make sure you've got the budget to get through the whole day, 100 clicks to meet your return on advertising spend. Now, 2 vital tips that have never been mentioned before anywhere on YouTube. Let's get into those. So here's another thing that YouTubers on Etsy are all telling you to do, and it's wrong. It doesn't work. They say use Etsy ads to boost your ranking. Okay, I see this all the time. Use Etsy ads to get more visibility and get more ranking inside Etsy. This is completely wrong. The Etsy ads algorithm is separate to the Etsy organic algorithm. They don't cross-populate. You can't pump Etsy ads with money in the mistaken belief that it's going to influence your organic search ranking. It doesn't work like that. They're separate. So don't listen to that advice. Organic Etsy ads is the Etsy ads algorithm. Organic is organic. They don't influence each other. So just focus on ads for ads and organic for organic. Let's get on to the final tip now. So my final tip on how to do Etsy ads in 10 minutes is, well, what does a healthy Etsy ads shop look like? So broadly speaking, 70% organic sales to around 30% Etsy ad sales, up to 80% organic sales 20% ad sales is a really, really healthy area to be in. And you should go in and have a look at these stats and see what your store is getting in relation to what I've just said. If your Etsy ad sales are 40%, 50%, 60%, 70% of your total store sales, this is all round the wrong way. There is a fault in your store whereby the only way you can make sales is through ads, and it's highly likely you're not making profit if it's round that way. The bulk of your sales need to come from organic viability inside Etsy. 20 to 30% from ads is absolutely fine, and that is healthy for a store. So go and have a look at your numbers and see if you stack up with that. Now, get into my comments and let me know about Etsy ads. Do you use Etsy ads? Are you making any money with Etsy ads? It's extremely difficult to make money with Etsy ads, and I see sellers all the time that are losing money. They're not making money, they're losing money because they're not, the ads, your listings aren't set up well, the photography is poor, the SEO is poor. You've got to make sure that your listings are selling organically before you open up Etsy ads. Tell me what your daily budget is, how it's going for you, and of course there's no excuse not to work with me. I tell you guys this every week. Links are in the description, 5-minute mini consultations, $25, and a whole host of others to work with me and improve your Etsy stores. See you in the next video, and I'll catch you in the comments.